Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome. All right. So I wanted to gather rubies, soon to be rubies, some people that need to re-rank ruby and people that are already senior ruby working on emerald, all the things, because I know that it is go time and so many of you want to earn Alaska by July, and it is totally doable. It is totally doable. And I don't see why all of you can't do it. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Angie and I were talking earlier today, and I've been just thinking about like, what can we do to help a whole new wave of people go jewel and diamond in 2025. Plexus has laid it out for us in my systems, keeping it super simple. And they have also created this refresh bonus and opportunity to really get our energy focused where it needs to focus. Okay. So I was thinking today how here's the deal. We don't necessarily need new revelation, okay? But we do need reminders. We need encouragement. We need reminders of the vision, right? If you don't know what your vision is, you got to get clear on that, right? Belief, and most importantly, I think accountability. And I was thinking about this, like, ooh, maybe it's private coaching, maybe it's, how do we create this, right? And what I am not like 100% clear on how we're going to do this, but I feel like we got to just launch something. So this is the Ruby kickoff call for going Jewel in 2025. Okay, welcome everybody. And there's strength in numbers. And so this is only a very small percentage of everybody, but I know this was kind of a last minute call. But my thought is, you know what? Let's just keep doing calls every single week. Let's meet together. I will have a little plan for what we're going to do on the call so that there's an accountability piece, and it's not a shame thing, but you just show up and we're going to share our stats in the comments. So you're going to be prepared to share on the call what you got done that week. And I'm also going to make a separate chat. Okay, it's not any of our other chats. It's totally fine that we have lots of chats. Okay, but this chat that we're going to have is specifically for helping you guys be laser focused on the most important things that need to be happening. And I was just thinking about like the amount of intentionality, the amount of energy that it takes. And sometimes on Zoom, or sometimes I feel like the still water runs deep, right? But we've all got to have like crazy fire in our belly. Like rank ups don't happen, and the rank ups don't just happen in Plexus. Like you don't accidentally, all of you know this, but you don't just accidentally go Ruby. You don't just accidentally go Emerald, right? For 99.9% of people in this business, it's not because of luck. It's because you busted your tail. You prayed the prayers. You showed up like a bigger, better version of yourself, and you proved to yourself that you can do hard things. You can do scary things. You can go outside of your comfort zone. You can develop more skills. You can get better people skills. You can meet more people, right? And so I just want to remind us that it's not just about the action. It's about the mindset behind what we're doing. And we've got to have fire in our belly. I was thinking about the picture that came to my mind was like a racehorse prancing at the starting line. That's how we all need to be as, as we're looking at 2025 and we're like launching, like we're halfway in January already. But you know what? We need to have the energy ready to roll, right? And also I think it's not just wanting it, it is wanting it, but it's also like an inward drive to propel you forward. And it's that new ambassador energy, and that's how this refresh program or refresh team that you're going to build is that opportunity to build that is going to massively potentially move your business forward in 2025. Because some of us, and maybe all of us, maybe we just say all of us, can get to the place of kind of like stagnant, for lack of a better word. That's such an ugly word. I hate that word. But where we get a little comfortable and cracking the code, like hitting that lid, breaking through that lid for between senior gold and ruby, or sometimes even ruby and senior ruby, or senior ruby and emerald, right? There's like no man's land in between those ranks where you can get real comfy, or you can just kind of get on the treadmill where you're just kind of plodding ahead, this, doing what I've always done, and it may not be moving everything forward like we want it to be. So I just want to encourage you guys that 2025 has the potential to be your best year yet. And I feel like we're stacked, like we're locked and loaded. It's just a matter of executing it. And it may take time of execution before we actually see results for it. So don't grow weary in well doing, because as we know in network marketing, it's like you're faithful, diligent, right? And then that success curve, as long as you're staying diligent and taking that same action with the same intensity and the same energy, you're going to see that success curve go up. But it's not doubting in the darkness, but you're in the light, where you're continuing to take action even when you don't have the results to prove for it yet. Okay. And success in Plexus is not linear. I know our coaches like spell it out for us. Oh, if you grow 10% like every month, that's not how this works. It's like what my experience has been over the past 10 years. It's like you're faithful, and then all of a sudden that compounds and you have a big spike, right? You rank up, or you double rank, or you have multiple ranks, right? Rank up. And then you reset the goal, right? And then you're faithful, and then you see that success curve go up again. And so it's not like you can't just look at your past of like, oh, what has my point growth been over the past year? A lot of times there'll be spikes in proportion to the action that we're taking and the momentum that we create, which is why I'm so excited about this refresh thing. I think it's going to really, really help. So make sure that you have your refresh team, well, or soon to be refresh team, on a new sheet of paper. Like, it's separate from your existing team. We're going to build on top of the team that we already have. And this is what I've told you guys for a long time. And I've shared this story so many times, but like January of, what was it, 2017, stalled out as an emerald. Points were just like happy where they were. They weren't really doing much. Not going backwards, but not growing either, like I wanted to be, because I wanted to go sapphire. And so I just was like, you know what? I've got to approach this with a different energy, different momentum. And so I just pretended like I didn't have a team. And it's exactly what this refresh thing is, where you're not going to forsake your current team. I'm not saying that, but like, you're going to support them. They're going to do their thing, but you're not like a little mother hen shepherding that whole team and just like, let's hope we go emerald, right? If you're going to start this new thing in 2025, and you're going to put your energy behind these 3 new people you're going to sign, you're going to work with them to develop them. They may not do anything. That's totally fine. They may be customers. Who knows? Right? But then you're going to get 6 more. So you can go senior silver. That might happen this month if you're a really big go-getter, or it might bleed over into February, and that's fine. But you're going to work to develop the people that you recruit on that refresh leg. Okay. So Jennifer and I were talking about the 4 pillars, which you guys are familiar with these. But the one thing that I have really appreciated when I've been on different Jewel calls is like the attention whoever's leading the call brings to like whatever piece, whatever little facet of our business that we need to get better at. So what I want you to do is write down on your paper the 4 pillars. Okay. So recruitment, retention, duplication, and then leadership. And I actually want you to rate yourself. What's our scale? Whatever the scale, 1 through 10, I guess. 10 being, give yourself 10 stars if you were amazing at that in 2024, and then maybe like put a little star if you feel like, or an asterisk, or however you want to rate it, of areas that you need to work on. Okay. And maybe based on your 2024 recruitment, that those numbers looked good. Like, especially you guys saw comparatively team-wide and things like that when we posted those lists and everything. You may be like, you know what, that was pretty awesome. And that's fantastic. Some of you may look at that and go like, I wasn't even on the list. So my encouragement is always 3 a month, 3 to 6 a month baseline, if you want to rank up in any given year. And if, regardless really of whether you're a jewel or a diamond, if you want to be in growth mode, you need to be personally sponsoring at least 3 a month. And when I say that, an average, okay, so say maybe some weeks you sponsor 9, okay, and then maybe you have a couple months where it's like 2, right? So again, success and growth is not necessarily always linear, but we're working. So on an average of the year, you have recruited 36 new level 1s minimum, okay, into your business. All right, retention, obviously retaining the people that you bring in. We can get those numbers for you if you want your actual specific numbers over the last quarter, if you want to see that. Okay, duplication, obviously, you can rate yourself on that, and then, or yourself and your team, and then leadership. And when I say leadership, what I want you to be jotting down is what you're reading or what you're choosing to read, because leaders are learners and leaders need to be growing. And so, and also what's in your earbud. Okay. I'm going to assign this for you guys. If you have not read this book in the last 90 days, actually read the book, not just listen to the podcast of him reading it, but actually read the book. This is the assigned reading on top of whatever else you're reading. I was going to look into some of the Ed Milet stuff, because since he's going to be speaking at convention, so that would probably be something else to like just put a little asterisk on. Okay, because who we are now is we're going to be different people next year at this time. Okay, because we're in growth mode and because as leaders, we have to be. And the person that you are as a Ruby, you're going to be a different version of yourself by the time you go Emerald and by the time you go Diamond. Okay, we're going to be learning, right? Learning people skills, learning how to show up, learning how to do this business better. And my encouragement also is to show up this year bigger, better, and louder than last year. So what I'd like you to do is we're going to just have a red dot. And this is not a shameful thing. This is not like, oh, I failed. No, this is just like, let's just look in the mirror. And this is what I have done since I started Plexus. And it's a good thing. It's, you don't have to make it be a shameful thing. It's just like, where do I need to grow? What am I doing well at? What could I get better at? Okay. And I actually want you guys to do an audit. I'll put this in our chat too, because I'll create it after this call. I want you to do an audit of your social media. The first audit is your frequency. So over the past 2 weeks, it's like say since January 1st, how many times have you posted? Like how many posts do you have on your wall? Okay, so we're going to look at the frequency. And also I think it'll be good, like because of the strength in numbers and the accountability that we're going to have for each other, is also to see like, okay, well, how much am I posting compared to like Brooke or Becky? Or how much is Becky posting in comparison to Lisa or April, right? And so we're just going to look at the numbers, because like there isn't a right or wrong, but I do know that the more I show up and the more I post, the more people I sign. And the more I post about the business, the more I have people coming to me about the business. So the second part of the audit is that I want you to go back and do a post audit. How many business posts, how many product posts, and how many live posts? I know I've had to do this before, but this is a good rinse, wash, repeat. And this is also good to have your teams do, like on an interactive Zoom, have them do the same thing, because it'll help them hold the mirror like, oh, I made 10 product posts and I didn't do any business posts. Okay. And so if we want to shift things, especially we want to go Ruby, or we want to go Emerald. I mean, obviously we want to go Ruby, but we want to go Emerald, which means we've got to find people that want to do this business, not just to be casual product users that maybe sort of kind of want to share with a friend. We need them. We need some people. I mean, we'll take those product users. Like we love on them. It's great to grow a wide customer base. Angie has a wide customer base. I have a wide, I mean, so many of you do, right? But we're in that conversion over takes time. Like that takes time. And so we're looking for people that are going to come in to Plexus and do a business with us. Okay. And those people aren't going to be, you're not going to have droves of people coming in, but you're looking for the few to do that with you. And if we're not ever talking about earning an income, what problems we can solve for people from a financial standpoint, we're going to keep signing product people. Okay. So a couple little audits there. And then that's kind of what I have on my notes for you guys that I quickly popped on paper so that I wouldn't forget things. But I would like us to share our findings in our chat. Okay. And and this is optional. You don't have to be in this accountability. If you just want to be on this call and just kind of go on your merry way and do your own thing, that's totally fine. But I'm providing this for those of you who do want some accountability. You are not afraid to be vulnerable with the group and move forward together, because I think there's going to be a lot of some amazing celebrations of gem and jewel rank ups this year. So, all right, Jennifer, I'm so glad you can be on with us. Sorry that it took forever to say what I needed to say, but we are excited to hear from you, because I know you have some more good things and some more goodness to share to shine the light on the 4 pillars.
Oh, I'm so excited, ladies. Thank you so much for taking time to show up for this call today, because it's a busy life and we all have things going on. And so I'm excited because you're here. And for those of you who are watching the replay, you're taking time to grow yourself because you want something more out of life. And I'm here to help you discover how Plexus can help you do that. So let me see if I can share my screen. Can I share my screen, Megan? just for a second. Megan mentioned at the beginning of this call that 2025 is all about mindset. We have to get in the correct mindset. And so I wanted to share just something really quickly because we all have different circumstances. Every single one of you are in a different circumstance. You are not in charge of the thoughts that come to you. They come to you. However, you are in charge of what you do once those thoughts arrive in your head, right? So I want you to look at the graph because the thoughts that arrive in your head, depending on what you do with them, are going to produce feelings. Am I right or am I right? And those feelings are going to generate actions, whether they're going to be actions that are going to propel you forward or the lack of actions is going to keep you stuck. And those actions are going to cause the results that you're looking for, or it's going to cause you to not get the results that you're looking for. So I need you to be mindful of, even though you have different circumstances, and even though life is really hard right now for a lot of you, or maybe even every single one of you, life right now is just simply hard. And it's also filled with a lot of amazing opportunity, with a lot of joy, fun, and excitement. And I want you to figure out what you need to do when those thoughts creep into your brain that might be a little self-doubt, that might be, maybe this isn't meant for me, maybe I'm not good at this, maybe whatever those thoughts are that are negative. I need you to have a plan for scratching the CD of that thought and replacing it with the actual truth of how you are. Maybe it's, I am a really good leader and I'm imperfect and I make mistakes. That's okay, right? So, because if we can't get control of our thoughts once they come, we can't flip the script, right? It's going to produce all sorts of feelings that are going to generate how we show up in our business and in our personal life. And in order for you to be successful in 2025, we are, like Megan said, locked and loaded. So many things are in alignment for you, coming out of corporate, coming from Megan, coming from yourself, and coming from the people that you already have, and coming from the people that you're going to bring in. But it all starts with you and your mindset and the actions and how you show up, right? I want you to ask yourself, what is it that you're in pursuit of in 2025? What are you in pursuit of? What are you passionate about? And how can Plexus help you do that? How can being a Plexus business ambassador help you do that? Remembering that authenticity is key for you to build trust with your current people and to build trust with people that you're trying to bring in as new leaders, as new business partners. So I need you to really, in 2025, you need to be saying and doing what you actually believe. So if you're dabbling over here in self-doubt, do you really want to show up and say those things? Or do you want to flip the script and acknowledge that you're maybe not where you want to be right now, and you're taking the steps that you need to get there? And right now, that's enough, right? What is it that you stand for? What are you looking for in a business partner? Who are you trying to help solve, increasing their income with the opportunity at Plexus? Who are those people? With that in mind, I want you to remember that you can't qualify people as whether or not they're going to be good business people or not. That is the fastest way to not have growth in your business, because you are deciding for somebody else what they may or may not be good at. And I don't know about you, but if I don't get the opportunity to do something because somebody discounted me and thought, I would never do that, or, oh, I'm not a good fit, man, that's like a dagger to my heart. It's like, oh, I didn't even get the chance to say yes. I didn't even get the chance to say no, right? So with that in mind, this whole refresh system is so important and is going to be the key to your success, because this is not the first time you've heard it. Growing you will help you grow your business, which in turn is going to help your team as well as your upline. It's a win-win for everyone. If you're working on yourself, it's going to help you grow and grow your team, and as well as your downline and as well as your upline. So with that in mind, I want you to remember that this business is part of your life. It is to be used to create your dream life, to start living the life you want to live. And the cool fun fact about that is Megan mentioned doing a social media audit, and you're going to find whether you have or haven't been posting about the business opportunity and talking about what's at stake. But because you are here to improve and reach your dream life and work and live your dream life and work towards it, you get to showcase that and show others what's possible for them. That's what's going to draw them into wanting to do this business. People are going to want to come to you based on what you are sharing, where you started, where you are now, where you are going, and your ability to help them see themselves in your life and know that they can do it too. They're going to buy into the reason you're doing this more than anything else. So when you are creating those posts, I need you to keep that in mind, the reason that you're doing this and the outcome of these like stellar products that we have that actually do what we say they're going to do, that actually can transform people's lives in a healthy way and change the trajectory of the path that they were going down to, add years to their life instead of taking it away. And not only that, adding that stream of income to improve their financial life, to start living their life again, and then creating their life that they want to live. So, how many of you know people, and maybe it's even you, who have started down the road and you're working relentlessly and you're doing all the things, and it's been 3 months and you're just like, man, stuff isn't happening, whether it's a weight loss goal, whether it's a weight management goal, whether it's you're trying to earn more money with Plexus, you're doing all the things and you haven't seen the results that you'd like. And so you just throw in the towel, or you see people just give up. I'm here to tell you that people give up right before success is about to happen. I can tell you over and over and over again, if you get to a spot where you're just like, oh my gosh, I've been just doing all this stuff and nothing is working and I feel like getting up, I want you to know that is when you're about to see that spike in your business that Megan talked about. If you really are taking the action steps, if you really are working your business, doing the income producing activities every single day, you're going to see that spike. It's kind of like the people who are losing weight and they hit that weight loss plateau and then they want to give up. But I promise you, it's that 4th month and that 5th month, and all of a sudden they lose 10 pounds in a month when they hadn't lost anything in 2 months, right? Those stories exist because that's just how it is. The consistency over time is what is going to create success and momentum with your team, with that consistency. And what you're doing is going to pay off month over month, but it might not be for a few months. But you can go back. I said this on the call lots of different times, but if you have a lull in your business and you're struggling, I'm like, go back to what you were doing 3 or 4 months ago. And 9 out of 10 times, people were on vacation for 2 weeks, took some time off. And so it kind of does catch you up. It's kind of a delay. And so don't give up on where you are just because you're hitting a rough patch. If it is, hey, I'm doing these things, it's month 4 and 5, nothing's working. Let's look at what you're doing and see if we need to change some things, right? But we can't keep changing things every 30 days and expect to have some sort of system that's duplicatable and working because you're changing it all of the time. So we talked about the 4 pillars: acquisition, right? Retaining people, then having them duplicate, and then teaching them the leadership responsibility. So I want to touch briefly on every single one of those, but I want to focus on a couple of them more than others. They all are kind of married together. That acquisition piece, however you bring somebody on, usually determines if you can retain them or not. Did you guys know that? How you bring somebody on, the expectations that you set up front when you bring them on is a big determining factor in that retention. That customer care that you provide afterwards also is going to be a determining factor with that retention, with getting them results. Because if you have that customer care and you're noticing as you're working with them, things are not going as smoothly, maybe they aren't as consistent, maybe you need to change some things up early on before they get to the point where I'm just done, it's not working, and they give up. If you catch it early enough, you're going to retain them. And then really showcasing how to go about sharing with their best friend, making sure that it's like, hey, nobody does this thing alone, right? Because studies have shown when you can start something new with a friend, you have a greater ability to be able to stay consistent and yield greater results and be here a year from now, be here 3 months from now, 6 months from now. So those statistics don't lie with getting somebody started. And it starts with you just showcasing that you're just really sharing, hey, I'm so dang excited about starting this new journey because here's where I've been, here's what I'm looking to solve, and I'm excited to see what the outcome is. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited. Let's jump in. Megan mentioned that excitement, that joy and happiness, that is what is really going to propel you forward in your business. So if you are not talking about the business opportunity, how can you expect to find business builders? Because nobody knows it's an option. And how many of you are doing that consistently in your feed several times a week? If you're not talking about it in your feed, how is it going to get to new people? Your stories, if you're only sharing about the business opportunity in your stories, you're only going to connect with your current followers that you have been working on and trying to get to sign up potentially, or they're just waiting, right? Yes, it's important to do that. Yes, it's important to still share. But if you want to get new people in your team and maximize these this opportunity for the refresh and find new people so that you can grow, so that your team can grow, so that they can grow, you've got to get in front of more people. And the only way to do that is to talk about it consistently every day in your feed in some way, shape, or form. Now, some of you might worry, well, the people who are following me are going to get so annoyed at seeing the same things in my feed. Guess what? It doesn't matter. They aren't going to be that annoyed because they're probably not going to even see it, but new people are going to see it, new eyes. And if they do see it, guess what? They might learn something new. Even if you reposted something from 6 months ago or 3 months ago, every time you read something, guess what you do? You pick something new out of it, right? Am I right or am I right? Okay, so making sure that you are talking about the things that you want to grow and showing what is possible and sharing the excitement and joy that you've had so far, because every single small success and large success that you have is a big thing for somebody else. So even if you think that only earning $100 or $50 this month is no big deal, guess what? There are people out there who would do anything to earn that money because they need it so badly. And so don't discount the small wins and helping your team share their small wins, because that is what is going to keep their excitement and their excitement moving forward, to be able to find people and create momentum for them to keep going and to keep sharing and talking about it. How many of you know how many no's you get in a day? How many of you keep track of the no's that you get? Anybody keep track of your no's? Some of you? Okay, so I'm going to talk just a few minutes. Megan, how long do we have for this call?
Probably like 15 minutes.
Okay.
Is that enough time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just needed to know how quickly I needed to go. I really feel impressed to share this with you for sales tips for learning how to work on your no awareness, right? Because a lot of times people are like, I'm going to spend all this time getting everything right and crafting the perfect message, and then you send 2 messages. I'm here to share with you that that isn't always the most effective way to go about it. So, number 1, I want you to work on your no awareness. I want you to start keeping track of how many no's did you personally gather today. So tomorrow, I want you to take note of how many no's did you get yesterday. And then it's going to be how many no's did you get last week? How many no's did you get last month? Right? Where are you for the year? Do you know? And if you don't know, how come you don't know? Right? The very act of tracking the number of times you hear the word no creates that strong no awareness. And while we want a yes, That's the destination, right? We all are going to get no's. And the way to get to a yes is you have to start with getting a no. And number two is you're going to have to learn how to have, maybe you do or don't know this, but we have an equal emotion when we get a yes or no response. That emotion reaction that we have to yes or no is the same, but as salespeople, we often see a yes as a positive and a no as a negative. And that I want you to kind of reframe. Because while there's no denying that getting a yes is so dang exciting, right? And you feel like you're happier by getting a yes. How many of you, if you don't ever get a no, you don't have the opportunity to get the yes, right? And so top performers in sales have learned to avoid being emotional about the yes and being dissatisfied or sad and letting that no affect them. So I want you to take the passion out of getting the yes or the no and just view it as what it is. Somebody's ready to get started. Somebody's not ready to get started. Number three, I need you to keep a full pipeline of prospects, right? One of the best ways for you to minimize the impact of hearing no and getting that disappointment of the lost opportunity is to keep a full line of prospects. Because if you have just a few prospects, every single no is like, I'm running out of people. I don't have anybody to talk to, right? And so that emotional impact is just bound to be there. So one of the best ways for you to keep a pipeline of prospects is every single day I need you to make new friends on social media for simply the fact of making friends. As a professional friendship maker, are you adding 5 new people every week or every day? Are you adding 3? What is your goal? And are you hitting that goal? Set a timer for 2 to 3 minutes per person that you're trying to find. And then go to social media, look for friends of friends, look for a group that you already belong to, that you already have friends in, those friends of friends, or just new people in the group. Take a look at their social media. There's got to be something that pops out to you that you get value from, that you can make a genuine, authentic comment and ask a question so that you open up the conversation. That needs to be happening every single day in order for you to create a growing list of friends that in turn can fill your pipeline of prospects so you don't run out of prospects. The caveat here is, remember, when you're becoming friends with people on social media, it is because you value what they have to offer and you are there to be friends, because you're not there at the first very moment to get them started with Plexus. But in order to get out of the sales, the hard, cold sales, you've got to be filling your pipeline of people that are friends that in turn can fill your pipeline of prospects to minimize the emotional thing with getting no. So number 4, to value no, you have to start calculating its value. Meaning, one of the most powerful approaches to learning to enjoy hearing no is to calculate the dollar value of each no that you obtain. For example, I don't know if many of you know this, but Alan Breed, right? He was trying to get the airbag system sold to the automobile industry. And for 30 years, he tried to get into the auto industry and to get people to say yes to the airbag concept. When they finally did, he didn't just have an instant profit of $120 million. In reality, he didn't earn all of that when they said yes. He earned $4 million every year they told him no. Does that make sense? That value of no is going back to, if you don't ask and get a no, when you ask again and keep asking and showcasing the value, you are not going to get the yes. So understanding and calculating the value of the no's that you get, because those no's are going to turn into yeses. Number 5, I want you to be able to offer more options to every prospect that you talk to. If you're just offering one thing to the prospects that you're talking to, your chances of getting a no increase exponentially, because nobody has a choice. They're not given a choice to choose. And I don't know about you, I love choices. People love to be able to make choices, and people need to know what they have an opportunity to do, right? So if you offer one option and they choose to say yes or no because they like that option or they don't, right? Instead of saying, do you want to get started with the triplex? It could be something, do you want to get started with the triplex, or would you like to get started with, and you can build your own pack based on your conversations of what you think they need so that they can decide what they want. Does that make sense? The other thing is number 6, every time you're talking to a prospect and you're working on closing the deal, you must ensure that you end with a no. Once they say yes, the sale is not over. A lot of people, again, are so excited that somebody finally said yes. They stop selling. They stop providing things that somebody might need. They stop providing solutions, and you rush to write up their order, to build their cart, to send it to them before they change their mind. How many of you have done that before? It's easy to do, right? It's so easy because it's just so quick and easy, but it's always more effective if you can continue to ask the person that you're talking to if they would like to also try, and give them an opportunity to say yes or no to the different things you think they could benefit from based on the conversation. So always end your sale with a no or a series of no, right? Because that means the person that you're helping is going to not leave solutions they need off and out of the cart. It also means you're not going to miss out or leave money on the table that somebody could have needed the solution for, that you could have been paid for, if that makes sense. Okay, number 7, go for bigger no's. It takes no more energy to get a big no from somebody than it is to get a small no. Don't play small, right? A no is a no is a no, no matter who it's coming from, no matter how big the opportunity, right? As the saying goes, easy yeses produce little successes. How many of you have people on your team that said no so many times and they finally said yes? And those are the people who are crushing it. Those are the people who are with you still. And the people who you got to sign up easily, how many of those kind of have been a little bit more of a struggle, right? I'm not saying that's that way all of the time, but statistics do prove that sometimes the easy yeses don't yield the biggest results. And so I want you to go for the bigger no's no matter what. Number 8 is when people say no, ask some more discovery questions. Learn about why. One of the most common things for salespeople to do when they hear a no is to just be like, give up, maybe get upset, or just walk away. I want you to become curious. Become curious as to why they are saying no to, right? And if you're giving them 2 packages and you don't have just one, it's easy to follow up and be curious and say, I'm curious as to, can you share a little bit more about, about not wanting to sign up with either one of these packages? Hear what they have to say. And then you can say, okay, maybe it's because they didn't like what there was to offer. You can say, what is it again that you're looking for that I can help you provide a solution for, Plexus? And then you reopen that conversation. Does that make sense with everyone? And then number 9 is focus on quantity first and quality second. I'm not saying and advocating that you need to go out and invite 100 people so that you can get 10 people to sign up. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying, however, that if you only invite 2 people a week, that means you're only inviting 8 people a month. What is the likelihood of you being able to find that 50% of those people are going to say yes, right? If you spend so much time making sure that you have the most skillfully delivered presentation, maybe you've done this with a post. You spend so much time crafting a post to get the information out there that you only get 1 post done a week because you spend 2 hours getting that post up and done. When you could set a timer and draft a post in 15 minutes and get the information out there, that shows authenticity, that shows, yes, you're just getting the information to people and showing that you're a real human and that you can do this without having to be an expert, that you can do this without having to know all the things or have everything perfectly crafted. Yes, you should take some time to make it you and be authentic and make it pretty, but don't get sucked into spending so much time on quality that we don't get the quantity reached where you're getting the number of people that you need to talk to. And number 10 is I want you to stop qualifying people and start disqualifying people. Meaning, if you're looking for qualified prospects, it's like you're looking for nuggets of gold in a mountain, which is filled with dirt, right? It's extremely ineffective because there's way more dirt than there is gold, right? And so if you're going out and looking for only specific people and you only want to invite specific people, it's going to be very hard to find those people, because if you're only going to accept a certain kind of thing into your business, it's going to be hard to find. Versus if, on the other hand, if you are looking for people and peeling back away the dirt, you're going to find those nuggets, because this opportunity is for people like you. And you should be marketing to people who are similar to you, right? Because I don't want you to market to everyone, because then you're marketing to no one. Does that make sense? So while I need you to be a little bit specific with it, I don't want you to be so specific that you are trying to qualify people before you even get a chance to work with them. So all of this to say, having the opportunity to invite people means you've got to be talking and sharing and asking and bringing new people in, because without that, you can't have new people coming in every month. And you can't help those new people bring new people in, because you don't have this pipeline and you're not sharing about it. So there's nobody to talk to about it. So it starts with that. And then once you do have those people, it's really working with them to learn how to share, just like you're doing. The duplication process that maybe you're struggling with, grateful for corporate and all the trainings that are here to help you and help your new people. Think of it this way. Duplication should be that anybody you bring in could do what you're doing. They could be successful. If you find that you're doing something that only you can do, that's not duplicatable. Duplication happens when you have simplistic things that are do this, do this, do this, and anybody can come in and do those things. That's what duplication is. And it's teaching your team, as you bring them in, the ease of just the joy and excitement of being able to share that with others and help them bring a friend along with them, and showing them what it looks like with the business opportunity, using the tools that Plexus has provided for you, especially with the new trainings that are coming aboard. And then the last step, my gosh, that will help retain people. At the same time, that duplication, like they all work together. It's a synergistic system. They are not done in isolation. If we are thinking about it in isolation, that might be the problem. So start thinking about how all of these are married together. And then the leadership portion comes when you start asking your people that you have to contribute to your team in some way, shape, or form. You're giving them the opportunity to contribute what they are good at, to bring value to your chat, to your team page, to a team call. That's the beginnings of helping your new people step into doing leadership things. Having an opportunity to bring to the table something that they're already good at, that they can become better at, and then also pushing them a little bit out of their comfort zone. Do any of you guys have questions for me? Nobody. Nobody at all. Okay, Megan, do you have anything else you'd like me to cover?
Thank you. That was fantastic. No, that's great. I feel like it gave us a lot to chew on. And I think that having ongoing sales training is really good, because we need to get better at sales. And sales, I mean, we hear it all the time, is a transference of inspiration. And it's also learning what to say, good questions to ask, how to find out what pain points people have. And so I remember early on listening to Carissa Casey had a little call, and she had little sound bites. It wasn't like scripts, but it was just like little sound bites where I learned how to ask better questions. I learned some keywords not to say, not to sound apologetic, because a lot of what we do is not, at least for me, I don't know, maybe you guys talk to more people in person, but for me, a lot of it is on the phone, and I'm texting or sometimes voice messaging. But I think it's really important to get really good at our conversations and being a good conversationalist, even because some of us are great like in person, but and I've noticed this with some people that I'm coaching that are, around the gold level. As I've gotten into like some of their messages, like they can come off for like really, really, what's the word? Um, a little bit rude. I mean, not
Blunt,
meaning to be
very
rude.
blunt. Yes.
Blunt,
No.
blunt, that's the word. And I think it's like we have to teach and and even maybe for some of us, have to learn how to soften it so it doesn't come off in a way that we're not meaning it to come off, So just getting better at those things.
And it's true. Like if you can always think of, if you have a yes or no question, how can you make it an open-ended question?
Yeah.
How can you ask for curiosity? And when you're providing, like if you're having somebody look at a video or you're having somebody look at a product, it's like, hey, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If you're sharing a video, it'd be like, give them a mini scavenger hunt. Let me know what you think about this, and give them two things to be on the lookout for that they're going to learn from the video. When would be a good time to follow up? Is Tuesday at 7 a.m. better? Or would you like to do Wednesday at 3 p.m.? Remember that whole choices and options, right? And then if
Mhm.
I don't hear from you, I will follow up with you on X time so they know you're going to follow up with them. Um, so I really quickly, if we have a minute, because we did talk about social media, I have a couple of posting hooks that you may or may not have heard. Remember, I said the idea is for you to draw the reader in and to have them see themselves in your story that you're sharing, having them see how their life would change if X was resolved, right? Like if they were wanting to lose weight, how would that change their daily life? What impact would that have on their life? That could be something that you could showcase. It could look like, have you ever thought you had life all planned out, but then something unexpected threw you off your path? And it could be that plexus landed in your lap. It could be that something else happened and then you found plexus, right? Have you ever, people that like spurs the imagination of people like, oh my gosh, that's totally me. Another one is imagine that, right? Imagine that you are, crushing your corporate career when suddenly you need more flexibility because you need to care for a child or an ailing parent or whatever that is. And then it's like, that's where I found myself, and then give the time frame, and then you can give a little bit of a story at a very high level. Nobody wants the nitty-gritty details. They just kind of want to know, what the level is. Some other posting hooks are, so there you are, and then describe the situation. Remember when you, and then go back in that memory. And when you, like, just so many different scenarios that you can do with these posting hooks, to draw the reader in, to share about all of these can relate to the business opportunity and showcasing, how this business can be for them, and why they need it and how it can impact their life.
These are sound bites right here, you guys. Hope you guys
Absolutely.
wrote them down because those are fantastic. Here we thought we were done with English when we stopped our composition courses in high school or college, right? Or us homeschool moms are still teaching it, but we can be applying it to our social media. I like
Yes.
it because it's appealing to emotions. And I think
Yes.
when I started Plexus, I was very factual because I guess that's what interested me. And so that's how I was approaching my posting. Yeah. So thank
If
goodness.
you're looking for men, that's exactly how you post. Men want all the facts and how much money can I make and what does that look like? If you are looking for men, absolutely. If you are not, then you have to do the emotional part for we as women.
Interesting. Um, does anyone have like a specific takeaway that they want to share? Like listening to this? Just curious if anyone wants to unmute and say something.
So I'm driving, so I took my camera off. This is Brandy.
Hey.
Something that I am so guilty of, and April, I'm looking at you too, is I love you. I'm sorry, I'm calling you out. Is like having these preconceived notions of whether or not they're going to be good at the business.
Mm.
Like I am so guilty of that. Even when I'm doing business reach outs, like there are some people I'm like, they'd never do it, so I'm just not even going to reach out to them. guess what? They're on my list right now because maybe they will. Like maybe they will. But I'm so like you struck a nerve with that one.
I do want to preface that having conversations and getting to know someone is very helpful in being able to move forward with being able to offer the business opportunity to someone, right? And not discount whether they would or wouldn't. And even if you have the conversation and you're like, because we, in our mind, we just create stories out of our own experiences that we've had, and that's all we can relate to because it's our own experiences. And they're coming from a completely different background of experiences. And so it's going to look different for them potentially. That's why you can't discount them.
Oh, so for me, totally something that I have battled for a long time. And then is that like they don't need the money, they're not going to do it. And last year, well, I guess it was 2023. It's a new year. When I went to Gold School in October of 23, my perspective really changed on that. And I just got really bold with reaching out and asking people, even to the point of one of my high school best friends who literally is an heir to ball jars, like, ball jars, like Mason and Ball. Like she is a direct, like trust fund baby to ball jars. And like, she said no, but I still ask her.
Yeah. Did you ask her why?
She doesn't have the time and she doesn't need the money, which I know she doesn't need the money, but she really does have the time because technically she doesn't really work. I mean, she goes and sits on the chairs at the boards of all these different places for Ball Corporation, but that's it. Like she doesn't work.
So for her, I would just get curious and want to get to know her better and just be like, I'm just curious, like, what is it that you love doing? And I know that you don't need the money, you know what I mean? But I'm just curious as to what you're looking for in the next year for, maybe bringing something new into your life. Is that something that's on your radar?
Well, and she knows how much fun I am. So there's that. I mean,
exactly. And it could just be like, I'm really just trying to create a community of women so that we can enjoy life together and have fun. That's like at the core of what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Is creating that community of fun and women having fun together and earning money and solving problems with health with people.
Yeah. True.
Well,
And if the whole time question, whenever you get time questions, a great follow-up time is how much time do you think it takes?
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
And then how much time do you have?
Well, she may connect you with someone too. Like
maybe you know that I need to know.
Yeah. She may not need it, but she may be able to connect you with like other entrepreneurs. And that's one of my favorite like follow-ups if someone's like, oh, that's really sweet of you to reach out, sweet of you to think of me in that way. But no, thank you.
Look at Angie's little side business. I'm like, I guarantee I'm making more than every single person I graduated with, except for maybe her, because she's a trust fund baby.
Yeah.
Love that, love that, love that.
So good.
Okay. I want to end my part by saying one of my favorite things, just because I love Ed Milet. He's one of my biggest mentors. You guys are going to love him coming live. Your past is not defining of your present or your future, right? Your past successes are in the past. Where are you going to be going in 2025? How are you going to continue to grow and move forward and have even more success? If you're trying to live dreams that are from your past that aren't in alignment with where you want to go now, it's going to be a struggle. So I need for you to figure out what it is you want. Remember all those questions I asked at the beginning, because it's a new slate. It's a clean slate. Yes, your past helped determine who you are today. As far as you learned and you grew and you became this rock star superpower, but it doesn't define anything about your future at all and where you're going.
So good. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. I think there's a delay. Thank you, Jennifer. This was amazing. So guys, my vision in moving forward with these calls is that there'll be 30 minutes, like a tight 30 minutes. We hop on when it's just us. My thought is we will bang through some specifics and share like what we got done. So like a true accountability call. And then there may be some pop-ups that are a little longer. So where maybe Jennifer would hop back on with us and provide some specific training, like to just help us up our game, right? But I feel like we need implementation time. So I don't want to do a bunch of calls. Like I want us getting some inspo, getting some information, and then going and acting, right? And then we meet back and kind of have this little huddle again and share our specifics. So I created a chat. If you want to be in that, and or anyone else that's not on the call live, let's invite them. Okay, it's going to be a separate chat, and I'll pop the homeworks in there so we can all share our homework and our audits and stuff in there together. And then we'll figure out a time of when our next call will be, and we will meet together. So my encouragement, guys, is to pull your own takeaways from this call and then take action, because this is where the rubber meets the road, is actually in the doing that we're going to move forward. So thank you guys for being on, and we'll see you on the next call. Thanks, Jennifer.